So I got a few updates on the manhunt for Vance Boelter. Vance Boelter, who's a MAGA fake Christian, calls himself a Christian, but I don't remember Jesus ever saying, when you get really pissed off, instead of turning the other cheek, instead of loving your neighbor as yourself, well, you just go after the Democratic lawmakers who's expanding health care for illegal immigrants. I don't remember that part. Didn't he say welcome the stranger, to clothe the naked, feed the poor? Where's the part where he says go around gunning people and shoot them in the head? I don't remember that part of the Bible, but Vance Boelter, here's Vance Boelter breaking into a window. Vance Boelter walking by this black vehicle. He's going to come back with some sort of, I guess, a tire iron maybe. I don't know what vehicle this is. And I don't know what house this is. There was a comment in the comments that said the birds know. The birds know that something is going on. The birds are onto something. It's interesting that the car alarm doesn't go off. This guy is supposed to be the head of a security detail, some security firm, Praetorian, Red Lion Group or something. He's supposed to be military. He says he's been trained in military in Eastern Europe and the Gaza Strip and Lebanon, the Middle East, and some other things too, but it seems like that's all just talk. It's just stuff he put on his resume. He went to Africa for 3 years, and you saw his preaching. There's like 4 videos of him like preaching for about an hour at some Christian church in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I guess was Zaire, a long time ago. So just to speculate, I feel like this is his vehicle. And that they're going to see a vehicle that's in Sibley County later on. So since he had to leave his vehicle at the scene and he ran off on foot right after he killed, the female lawmaker and then the male lawmaker, both Democrats. He had a list of other Democrats he's going to kill, and some abortion people, so he's a big pro-lifer. And then he also had those No Kings protest flyers. So I'm not for sure what that's about. Here is some video of Sibley County. So in Sibley County, they found his cowboy hat and they found a vehicle. Maybe this is the same vehicle, or maybe it's a different vehicle. It's like, how many vehicles does this guy have? I don't know if that looks like an SUV or is that a car. It's kind of hard to tell. And you'll see a convoy of police officers, as soon as they heard that, oh, we've got a vehicle down here. It's probably the SUV, right? And then he broke the door. Did he have a spare key inside of the damn thing? There was a convoy of police officers that drove to the scene after they had heard, that, what? He's down in Sibley County. Well, we need to go get him. Well, how many people do we need? Get everybody down here. But there's still like robbers and murderers and rapists and arsonists at the town. It doesn't matter. This is the most important case of all time. So I don't know how many that was, but that was what, about 20 police officers, and then you can kind of presume that, more police officers. Let's count them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, he didn't let me count. Why not show it again? Because that is impressive footage. What? Vance Boelter? He's down there in Sibley County? All right. Well, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 police cars. So that's a lot of police cars. It turned out they found nothing, right? They found nothing. They found the guy's hat, and they found the vehicle. Can we presume it's the SUV? And then why don't they publicize this stuff? Why don't they tell us who he is and what vehicle he is driving in? We could, we the people can keep an eye out for these things. They keep asking the public for help, but that's always, a kind of a blessing and a curse thing. I once heard that somebody offered like $20,000, or they offered a reward, and the reason why they offered the reward because they suspected that the person that would come to tell them information was actually involved in it. And it's like, are you kidding me? So if I'm, just Joe, average American, hearing about a reward, and then I'm like, hey, I was researching into the thing, and then I looked over here and I found him in the damn shed, and how'd you know he was in the shed? Motherfucker, how do you know anything about him, It's just such bullshit. So, let's see, what else do we have? We got this guy here that we interview him. This is a farmer. He says about 6:45 this morning, he had a contact, which the guy kind of talks real quiet and a little weird. But this is moment of fame, right? He's going to get his 15 minutes. Well, he actually gets about 2.5 minutes. But all he's just saying is that they found the car, they found a cowboy hat, and then his field is right on the opposite side of the car. So you got a dirt road, car, cowboy hat, and this guy's field is on the opposite side of the fence. So you got the dirt road, ditch, fence, hop over the fence, now you're on this guy's property.
7 this morning, I got a phone call from my contact at Sibley County Sheriff's Department saying that the car was found, this guy's car was found on the gravel road right next to my farm. He was wondering if I was there.
Okay, so that's the main part there. He'll say some other things, but I want to intersperse some information while we listen to him. So for 30 years he was in the food service industry. For the last few years he was in the mortician business. He was funeral home director, and then for some reason he was like taking home the eyeballs. He was taking home the eyeballs of the people that he was interning. I'm not for sure what exactly this guy's doing, to be honest with you. I have no idea what this guy is doing because they say that his security firm never existed. He was 3 years in the Democratic Republic of Congo trying to run this Red Line group, but he's preaching at the damn church, and then he's going to come back from Africa with some money issues. He has some money struggles. So it's like he tried to set up this private security firm, and he's trying to get clients and businesses and employees, but it never got off the ground. It never went anywhere. So he had 2 official cars. He invested in 2 cop-looking cars, but he had no clients and he had no employees. They said that he worked for 7-Eleven and Del Monte and Johnsonville. When he was asking for a job, he was asking for a leadership position, right? So you wear a suit, you wear a tie, you get used to sort of making these corporate decisions, and you like having the power, right? You like being on the top of the food chain, so to speak, in the corporate HQ. But the corporate HQ people actually don't really make anything or do anything, and then sometimes their decisions can sink the whole damn company. So what we know for sure is that Vance Boelter, for 30 years, is in the food service industry. He was bragging about being with some company where they would say from the farm to the fork. So directly, they would just basically make the product, the food product, and then somehow get it directly into people's houses, into their mouths, onto a fork. He also had a job with Minnesota State government. Somehow he was, under Tim Walz, and he was under the previous administration. So he had some sort of stint with the, the so-called deep state of Minnesota. So what's that about? He's in the food service industry. He's working for 7-Eleven, Del Monte, Johnsonville, some other corporations. He's working in the government of Minnesota. And then he's bragging about having all the security, detail and experience in the Gaza Strip, Eastern Europe, and Lebanon, and all these like war-torn nations. He's flying to the Democratic Republic of Congo, preaching a bunch of hatred about hating the gays, hating the transgendered people, and how God is talking to him, and how sin is really bad. You don't want to sin. You don't want to just go around gunning people down. And then another interesting detail is that the majority, either it deprives the majority or they had a majority, but they had a barely majority. So in Minnesota, the House, they're either just neck and neck tied with the damn thing, or they had, like a one-person majority. Without her, now the Republicans are in charge in Minnesota. Now the Republicans are in charge in the House. And so this is, incredible stuff. This points to some kind of, broader issue. People are going to try to make hay out of it and sort of paint up a conspiracy. But I don't want to go past what I know. And what I know, it seems like it's possible that a middle-class person could just have enough wealth, buy a couple cars, buy some masks, have some guns, fly to the fucking Democratic Republic of the Congo, got invited to speak as a preacher, so that was his main thing. He wanted to do the preacher thing. But then he's also trying to establish contacts and businesses, right? He was working in the food service industry, and now he's working at the morgue, right? So that was like a demotion. So I feel like he didn't like the funeral home. He didn't like burying people, but he worked there for about 3 years, and they said that he voluntarily quit in February. So about 4 months ago, he quit working at the funeral home. And so I guess he quit stealing the eyeballs from the dead people and taking them home. And what the hell are you doing with eyeballs? I don't even understand that part. But the dude's a freak. He's a whack job. He's definitely messed up in the head. And even his preaching about the Bible wasn't even that good, I feel like it's all vanity. Isn't that what Ecclesiastes says? Ecclesiastes says it's all meaningless. It doesn't matter if you work hard. You still don't get what you deserve. It don't matter if you're lazy. It don't matter if you're wise. It don't matter if you're stupid. With every season under the sun, man always chooses the wrong direction. They never know when to, juke left or juke right. And so it's just all meaningless. You work hard, and then ultimately, where does all that work go? And then when you die, other people take it. And so it's like, what is the damn point? So he's not, really preaching a profound message. It's very surface, just Jesus died for our sins. Don't do evil, do good, and don't be gay. I mean, I don't know if there's any bigger, themes to glean from. I think he liked the attention. I think he liked to have an interpreter. He liked to be in front of a crowd and talking about things that he knew. He said he had a testimony, so he loved Jesus. He wrote out why he loved Jesus when he was, real young. And anyways, 3 years in the Democratic Republic of Congo just preaching. Is he making money? Are they paying him for this job? It just seems like they invited him in and he just had some thoughts that he wanted to share with him. Share it with the folks, but he really wasn't making any money. He wasn't. That wasn't his job, and he was trying to do the security firm. I read one article where they said that it just seemed like it was a total fantasy. It was a total fantasy, this security firm.
It wasn't, and they would be probably searching the place. So I came down here. I can't access the farm. They did find the car and Cowboy had next to the farm there, and the BCA just got some information from me about the layout of the buildings and camper and ice house and stuff like that that's on the grounds and top.
Mike's house. Who's Mike? Mike has got house on his property, and then there's some sort of camper, and then there's other buildings. So I guess what is that? Some sort of silo and barns and whatnot. So they're like, where could he be hiding? He's on your farm. We know he's on your farm. Yeah, or maybe he's not. There was a couple gunshots, so there was some people speculating that he committed suicide. But if he committed suicide, he wouldn't have shot a couple of times, right? If he committed suicide, he just would have shot the one time. It does make me wonder what he's doing all the way down there in the middle of nowhere. And they found the car in the hat, and who found the car in the hat, and did they find it by themselves? He said he was contacted at 6:45 in the morning, so super early in the morning. But is it possible he drove out there and then had someone pick him up and then drop him off some other place? Here's another twist in the story. They're going to temporarily detain the wife, which you should detain all of them. Detain the wife, detain the kids. Just for a day or two, because she had passports. In the car, she had guns, ammunition, cash, and a passport. And why would she have guns and ammunition and cash and a passport? Like passports, plural. How many passports do you need? Where is she fleeing to? People were speculating, did he go to Canada? Minnesota is like right there. Canada is like right above Minnesota, right? And then they've been searching for that fucking guy in Washington, and he's been running around for like nearly fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. It's entering into the third week, so you got 48 hours, and so this has been, right around 48 hours, maybe a day and a half, so you don't have much more time. It's just so incredible. I guess I feel like you got all this technology, you got the phones, and you can, track the phone, see where he's been, see the messages, and sort of see the purchases, see the vehicles, and they would have so much information, a wealth of information at their fingertips. But if they're all being hierarchical, I just saw that Uvalde, or that King Supers, that guy was a shooter, and he just goes in there and he's like shooting people for like 15 minutes, and the cops are too afraid to go confront the guy. I mean, just, you can strengthen numbers. I understand strength in numbers, but I also know that one guy can get another guy, right? All you need is one brave sort of cowboy to go track him down and then put a gun on him and say, you're coming with me, you're under arrest. And then either there's a gunfight or the guy goes willingly. He had 2 official cars, which is interesting. So his one cop car he abandons. So like 2 in the morning, he was in Chaplin and Brooklyn Park and shot one and then shot the other. But he shot Melissa Horton, John Hoffman. So 2 Democratic lawmakers, had a list of other Democrats he was going to kill. So he's definitely anti-Democrats. Something about abortion too. Ilhan Omar, he wanted to go after Ilhan Omar. That really ticked him off. And he voted for Trump. He was a big supporter of Trump. He's a maggot. He, downplayed his politics probably because he's working in, the state government. Back in the 90s, I heard that his best friend said that he was really, against abortion back in the 90s. But he hasn't really been speaking about, abortion so much. Let's see here. So I wish the police would tell us the cars. Okay, here's the name, here's the guy's face, and then here's the possible vehicles. Does he have any other fucking cars? Let us know what fucking cars he has. Show us the face, show us the cars, so that way we could be on the lookout for these fucking people. They keep asking the public for information, but then they don't tell us jack shit. They also said that in his manifesto, he had wrote something indicating a possible motive to all the crimes, but they didn't want to get into that. Why the fuck not? The wife is being detained, but then they let her go. They let her go. And she's like, I just got all these guns and bullets and money and cash and passports. How many passports? 13 of them. All with different names on them and different... Oh, okay, cool. Well, have a nice day, ma'am. I think it'd be just safe to, arrest the wife and the children and for a day or two, just hold them in a cell and then, habeas corpus, right? They're getting rid of habeas corpus, this administration is. They're not really caring about the Constitution. And really, if you're committing the crime or aiding and abetting, then, I would say all bets are off, even though murders happen in America all the time because these are 2 Democratic lawmakers and the governor's on board. Now there's just so much, time and attention. This is, to say it in a terrible journalistic media, this just shows how ugly the media is, but this is a sexy, fucking story. This is a sexy story. If it was just some dude in an alley shot another dude in an alley, that probably wouldn't even get a headline. Maybe 1 or 2 people. There was a shooting that had happened actually recently in Costilla County. And the thing with the Costilla County, they don't talk about the thing at all. They just said, here's the guy's name. They caught 2 of them, but then this other guy, Levi Turning Robe, he's, out and about running around somewhere. So that was only had 1 article. If you're just to type in Alamosa shooting, you'll get a lot about the, the serial killer. You'll get a lot about Henry Corral. And then, some of the more bloody things that had happened. So things that happened with 1, 2, or 3 victims, gunshots. But they found an 18-year-old that was shot up. He went to the hospital, and they already arrested the other 2. But this other 3rd guy is on the run as well. So this Levi guy is running around, and then the Levi Turning Robe, and then Chris Mondragon is running around, and then that Travis Decker is running around. So maybe they're all hanging out with Tupac and Santa Claus and Guantanamo Bay or some shit. But in Minnesota, since he had a car and he did drop the car off, either he is in the neighborhood, he's shot a couple times, maybe he's shooting a bird because he's trying to live off the land. He seems like a pretty fat fuck. I don't think that Vance Boelter would be out in the woods for too long trying to survive in the woods. But maybe he's trying to, paint up a distraction, and then all he would need is just another car, right? So he would just get his car, drive out in the middle of nowhere, leave his hat, leave his car, and then hop in the other car, and then he's gone. So all he would need is one other vehicle, and then there's no telling, how far he could go with one vehicle in America, the interstate system. It's kind of crazy that he's sort of still in Minnesota and he's close by. Let's hear a little bit more of this guy.
Access that stuff. And, yeah, that's about all I've been told.
What are they doing here? That's your property?
Right beyond that, so that's about, I suppose that's half an hour away, so the next quarter mile is the farm. And at 301st Avenue is the next road, so it's within sight of the right here.
And you said near your property. Do you know how close?
The road, you walk from the road down in the ditch and into my field.
Sometimes I feel like to get a call like that, that this suspect at large is
Well,
the car.
you're watching it, it's already a crazy situation. I was out here working last night and was thinking, gee, I wonder if that guy is in the woods here. Do you kind of some nice places to hide and you don't, you continue to work and you just go home. And a friend of mine, John, sent me a funny message saying, hey, did you see that guy running around the barn there?
Oh man, that damn John. What a jokester. So they found the car and the hat in Sibley County. Who knows where he could be or what he's doing. He could be dropping the hat off. I guess all I got is speculation now. They had pictures of him wearing that cowboy hat, so he's going to ditch the cowboy hat. We saw him breaking that glass in that black SUV. It kind of looked like it could have been that black SUV. Weird that the alarm didn't set off. And then does he have another car? And then if he had like two houses. So he had a house where there was roommates, like 3 or 4 roommates. And the best friend seems like he doesn't really know what's going on. So the guy could just be a very secretive person. And then just other speculations. People say this has got, CIA and FBI and ATF just stamped all over it. It does seem incredible that he's flying to the DR Republic of Congo and just sitting there, talking about security firm in Eastern Europe and Gaza Strip. So it could all just be talk, but then it could indicate something else is going on. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into conspiracy land. We're just going to go with what we know. This guy hated Democratic lawmakers, hated Ilhan Omar, killed that Melissa Hortman and her wife, shot and injured that John Hoffman and his wife. It's weird, he's parked in a remote spot, a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, and then hearing the few gunshots. Did he commit suicide? Probably not. 30 cop cars, convoy. There was something that the police officers had said in Sibley County, how they were kind of pissed off at the local people because they weren't taking the emergency, as drastic as they were taking it. They were yelling at a farmer for spraying his fields. What the hell are you spraying your fields? Cops need to trust the American people. Trust that the bulk of the American people are good people who are just, going about their day jobs and doing their lives, living their lives. And so just a guy spraying their fields, that's a good thing. If a guy is spraying his fields, that means he's combing through his fields. If the guy's hiding in a cornfield, well then, that guy went through the cornfield each and every row with a big sprayer. So the guy isn't going to just lay there and get sprayed upon. He would have to do some weird, cat-like things and just kind of hide in the damn corn. But that's a good thing. That means you already have a farmer that's on a highboy that's going around spraying the damn thing. He already combed through, he already searched. He already did a search of his field. The guy's not in this field. But if you were watching that King Supers video, the fucking cops are sitting there yelling at the journalist and fucking getting on the guy that was, sitting there videotaping the whole damn thing. and they didn't go in. They didn't go in. They didn't go after the threat. They're just sitting there trying to harass the people around, right? It's like they just want to do something, right? They're all hyped up, and instead of being courageous enough to go after the threat, they just start harassing anybody and everybody that's around them because they're the tough guys. Yeah, they're tough guys when it comes to the polite and the lawful, but when it comes to the dangerous, well, they're not so tough. So that's all the updates that I have. Let's let this play out.
I said, I wouldn't let this person. Yeah.
I mean, you never really expect something like that.
No, it's just weird. Just because it's a crazy situation to begin with, and then it's ended up here.
Do you know, I mean, you know who this guy is?
I've asked around, no one knows. It's probably out here where nobody locally knows anything about it.
You wouldn't necessarily broadcast.
Right.
About that. And so you haven't been back since you got that call.
I haven't. I got a text through the sheriff's department asking me if they could set up a command post, or if they could. So yeah, we can go for it. And I can't quite see down there what's happening, or if that happened or not. But yeah.
I guess just any other message in terms of just being in some ways a part of this investigation, or?
Nope. You just hope for the best and wish these guys luck. These the men and women that are working down there to sort this out. It's a dangerous situation.
So that's we pretty much get no information from that guy at all, and the guy was dressed in a police officer uniform, in a mask, with a cop car. So when they're just like, "Hey, trust the cops," the cops like to harass the journalists. They don't like to go into active shooter situations at Uvalde and the King Supers. They, they're kind of pussies when it comes to actual armed and dangerous people. But for good lawful people, man, they are just a bunch of fucking bullying fucking pricks. Which is incredible because this is supposed to be a free country. And so if they trusted us, then, I don't know. I just feel like my understanding of the world, if I'm in the area and I know something that's going on, I'm calling, I'm, videotaping, I'm saying, he ran down there, go over there, and here's the information I know. I don't know much, but I know this, I know that, and I know some other information, but it's almost like that's not appreciated or something. It's like they know everything, they know what's going on, but if they knew fucking everything, they get to break in the doors and take everybody's fucking information and evidence that's like connected with the damn thing, but then they let the wife go, so that's crazy. And then that one guy still was the text messages, his best friend, his roommates, whatever. So they come in, the guns out, SWAT team, and breaking in the windows and shit. And then they find out all this information they don't share with us. If they get the guy, great. But if they don't fucking get the guy, then they're just kind of fucking up each and every one of these, places of evidence. We're supposed to, trust that all the evidence that you gathered is the right evidence and the right way to go about it? It's just kind of hard to trust them. It's kind of hard to trust the fucking guys. And it's almost like, how has this guy been able to thwart you? They found him at the house. Cops found him at John Hoffman's house. How did he get away from that situation? He shot at him a couple times and then he ran out the back and then they weren't able to catch him. How come they didn't have a cop car in the back? How come they didn't have somebody chasing him? How come they didn't have a backup car? So it's nearly 48 hours. So they only got a couple more hours to solve this damn thing.